trained and you've been mentored by someone and you actually know how to find a profitable location, I created a file called 2 hours short-term rental and service accommodation zone qualifier. In 2023, for you to make over £100,000 is creating a brand. Literally creating a brand and focus on advertising. But listen, if you want to make the 100,000 mark in your Airbnb business and Airbnb portfolio, this is the video to watch, guys. I've worked with so many people who's delivered over £100,000 in their business, and in this video I wanted to tell you that you only need 3 properties if you're talking about revenue. Now, you know, we see a lot of people going, we've done 100,000, we've done 6 figures, but actually it's not a lot. If you look at the figures, you break it down, you actually only really need 3 properties to deliver that. So firstly, I want to touch base and a little bit around what it is, break down the value, break down the price, and then genuinely talk about some of the tips that I want to give you for you to attract that 100,000 revenue in your Airbnb business. So firstly, let's talk about what do you actually need. Now, I look at numbers this way. You need 3 properties. Let's say the break even sitting around $1,850 per calendar month per property. Now, if you do that, times it by 3 and then times it by 12 months, it should work around 66,600, roughly like that, in terms of the actual cost. Now, if you look at 6-figure revenue, that itself, 3 properties just to break even would cost you about 66,000. Variable cost, they are different. I've done a separate video. If you haven't looked at my variable cost and what it involves, go and check that out. And last but not the least, look, if you're looking to make $1,000 a month per unit on profit, that's 3 units, which is $3,000 a month, times it by 12, which is 36,000. Now, when you add £36,000 profit plus the actual break even, the revenue number, you will be over that 6-figure benchmark. Now, this is where I want to talk about. Let's talk about, are you thinking revenue or are you looking for profit? Now, one of the things I do in Grow Airbnb, and if you look at all my videos today, is I talk profit, because revenue means nothing, right? You're taking out, you're making money, you're paying all the bills. What you're keeping is the profit in the property. So within Grow Airbnb, I'm going to quickly scroll through some of, if you're part of Service Accommodation Network group in the UK, obviously I've got viewers from US. There's a group in the UK, over 15,000 people. You go in, type in Piers BK and literally scroll down on all my posts over the last few years. And I really am fortunate to say I've worked with people who's just started their first unit. I've worked with people with over 150 properties. And the main goal right now is, for me, if you're looking to make that 6-figure in 2023, there are my some tips that I want to go through with you, and eventually hopefully you take that and actually implement that in your business. So tip number 1 is about choosing profitable location. Now, there's two things to it. If you are trained and you've been mentored by someone and you actually know how to find a profitable location, great. But if you don't, that's where the problem starts, right? Because look, earlier we spoke about making a minimum of $1,000 net profit. That should be easily achievable, right? If you're running an Airbnb or short-term rental business, but you should really be looking to achieve more. Now, the first way to do that is by finding a profitable location. Now, tip number 2, which I'm a massive fan of, is running an extreme due diligence on that property as well as location. Now, look, guys, I created a file called 2 hours short-term rental and service accommodation zone qualifier, and what we do in that file is actually, it's got probably about 50 things that we do in terms of market due diligence, you know, locations, guest behaviors, calendar management, advertising strategy, staging, property setup, you name it. We're literally going through every single thing that is available there in the market for you to run a correct due diligence. I don't do AirDNA only. I don't just go into Airbnb and look at your competition. That's probably the worst thing to do. And if that's what you've been taught, you must stop it. Tip number 3 in 2023 for you to make over £100,000 is creating a brand. Literally creating a brand and focus on advertising. If you don't think about that today, you're going to struggle trying to attract those bookings. Remember guys, Airbnb and booking.com is only good enough when you're trying to launch your properties and trying to get some bookings. But tomorrow, if you really want to make sure you're making higher profit, that comes by building a good brand, a brand that people can trust, a brand that you get seen online in Google. People can call you and say, hey, we're looking to book a, whatever property in your location and we want to stay there for a month. We're relocating from Dubai, or anything that's going to attract you those longer term booking. It needs to be found online. You need to make sure you have a great brand presence and people trust you. Now, tip number 4 is something that nobody talks about in our industry, and I talk about, which is understanding guest booking behaviors. Guys, you and I who go online, I watch YouTube videos, I follow a lot of people, I go on Amazon, I do shopping, I do online shoppings, I go in retail and I do shopping. We all have behaviors, a purchase behavior. Now what that means is our guest has certain type of booking behaviors online. Some could just generally go and book you straight away, whatever dates they need to. It could be a 2-3 night stay. You have longer term stay clients who will go into your calendar, effectively put their searches from whatever date it is till the 30 days mark or even longer. They're going to send you an inquiry and they would have a certain type of behavior. The reason why I say that is, look, if you're looking to book a monthly stay for your relocation, if I see that in your ad somewhere which says relocation client, I'm more likely to contact you because it says. Now, it feels like, writing an ad is difficult, but it's actually not if you specially understand guest booking behavior. So guys, last one from me, tip number 5, which is thinking profit and not nightly rates. I'm literally fed up of people talking about nightly rates and telling that this is the way forward. Look, nightly rates, if you say, Piers, I charge £130 a night, but then actually you're only booked for 3 nights for the whole month, that's not what you charge because you're effectively not converting clients. You are then chasing that £130 a night. Reality is, look, if you're not being booked, you need to start thinking differently. How long is a client staying? What's the length of their stay? What is their lead time, which is when do they book or when do they inquire? And when do they actually come in your property and stay? And as a result of that, those data should allow you to think about the profit or the type of nightly rate that fits to your property. What the market charges is a very good indication for what a nightly rate is. Doesn't mean that works for your property, doesn't mean that's exactly how you're going to make profit. So think profit, not nightly rate. So guys, thank you so much for watching another Grow Your B&B video. For me, it comes with experience. I've worked with many clients with over 3, 5, 10, 15, 150 properties. So for me to say, look, this is how you're going to make your first 100,000 in revenue is exactly the process I've shared you. Now, thinking I'm going to make a different video about making £100,000 or dollars in profit is going to be a completely different strategy. How you achieve that, how many properties you need, what kind of strategy you should be using will be completely different. So guys, I hope you understand it's different ways of attracting different revenues in the business. But thank you so much for watching another Grow Your B&B video. Make sure you hit that like, subscribe and share, and I'll be back with another video soon.